Hello, hello. If you can hear me, let me know. If not, I got things to fix. Put this over here. You would think after 50-something streams, I'd be better at this. Christopher Clayton, nice to see you. I don't think I recognize your name. Welcome to the stream. Wing Chin, welcome back. Trouble Person, welcome back. Nice to see you guys. Thank you for sound checking for me. I'm going to set some stuff up in the background. Don't mind me. Okay, I think I'm good. I think that's everything I need. Okay, let's start. Let me read the chat. Sorry, I'm catching up. Can I summon Pot of Greed to draw 2 videos from a playlist? Absolutely. You can play Pot of Greed to draw 2 cards, to draw 2 videos from the playlist. Wow, I'm so far away from my Yu-Gi-Oh days that I cannot remember cards that negate magic cards or spell cards. They're called spell cards now. Ooh, in my brain I'm like Mystical Space Typhoon would have been the call, but that doesn't actually stop Pot of Greed because it doesn't stop the effect from going off. What negates magic? I can't even remember. Anyway, Christopher Clayton, welcome. Thank you for being here. Yeah, this is the time I always stream. If this is an inconvenient time to catch it, I don't blame you. I mean, it's a weird time slot, and I always save the VOD, so. Pika Azuro says, oh boy, is this available to the public to read? Hello, entry. Hey, what's up? Yes, so what we're going to cover today is the quick play demo of Perfect Draw. It's not going to be the actual game. The actual game is it's like 200 something pages, and I figured the best way for us to get into it is to read the demo itself, which is free, and you can find it on itch.io. Pretty sure the link is in the description of this video, if you guys can see that. So if you want to read along, you're welcome to. If you want to just read it yourself and go eat dinner or something, you can do that too. You're not beholden to stay. But I saw this game and I really wanted to cover it because card games in general is a big cultural touchstone for me. So looking forward to covering it. And when I saw this, I was so excited. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this before. I think I'm all set up. What am I missing here? Maybe something for... Let me see if I can... You can't run away from a duel. Did anyone run away from a duel? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're telling the truth. Can't run away from a duel. All right, 10 seconds and we're in it to win it. Okay. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 99 More live stream, where we cover 99 other tabletop RPGs. And right now we are on number 53? 53 of 99. Really exciting that we passed the halfway point. And today we're covering a game that I only recently saw pop up on my Twitter page, and then it showed up in itch.io, and I figured I had to give it a look. The game we are covering today is, did I do this pop up correctly? Sure did. Perfect Draw. Perfect Draw, the tabletop RPG, is about card-based animes. If you have watched things like Yu-Gi-Oh, that's probably the most significant cornerstone of this series. But and if you've watched anything like, I don't know, what are other battle-based kid things? Does Yokai Watch a battle-based kid thing? I never watched it. But I'm thinking along the lines of like the Beyblade era, the Metabots era, the obviously Pokemon is a touchstone there. Heart of the Cards is the name of the game here. We're going to look into what game mechanics they use to manifest the same energy that Yu-Gi-Oh brings. Don't place the book over the fire. Okay, I'll move it. As a preface, I grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh! I remember when it came out in the US, I had Kaiba's starter set. I remember when my first edition Blue Eyes deck was dunked in water on July 4th, and all those cards were ruined forever. But I do have very fond memories of running a very, very basic burn deck with Solar Flare Dragon and something baseball kid with like that has like a fire effect to it. And those days have long since passed. Yu-Gi-Oh has become much more complicated, and I did not follow along with it. But I did watch all of Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh GX growing up, and this topic is near and dear. This motif, these themes are very near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure there are many people who are much like that. Perfect Draw, I know nothing about them. I'm going to show you who wrote them, who wrote this game, Double Summon Games, and I'll show you where you can find the game itself, as well as what we'll be covering today, which is not this game, but actually the Quick Play demo kit. It's a free version of this game that you can take as a sampler to see if you like the system, like the mechanics, like the vibes, and if you like this, then you might as well go and download the game and see if you can run it for your friends, or just learn from it like we're going to here. As with every stream, our goal is to read the game, see what we like about it, see what mechanics we might take from it if we're not going to play it, and if we are going to play it, what those games might look like. If the game is short enough, if the game is brief enough, then we'd have an opportunity to play it live on stream. I'm guessing this will just be a read-through. The demo is relatively long. Let me go check up how long it is. 41 pages for the player's guide. So we'll probably just read through and see what the vibes are and see what we like about it. So if this is your first time in stream, thanks for stopping by. We're going to jump into the game itself right now. Let's see. Do I have it all set up? Probably not. Okay, let me go get that set up. One of these days I'll be more professional and have that ready from the get-go. Let's see. This one? Yes. There we go. Again, this is the Quick Play Players Kit. There's also the Quick Play Judges Kit, which I'm guessing is the people who run the game for their friends. These are the players, and there's also printables for character sheets and things like that. If you want to find this game, you're going to want to go to we can't see that. NOORA sphere.itch.io, aka Double Summon Games. They have the game here, Perfect Draw. This game was kickstarted and released, I believe, this year, which is pretty recent. And it says here there's 240 pages about actually running this game and telling, as they say, card game anime stories for your friends. And if you're not sure about the game, what we're going to be reading today is the demo kit, which I think is right over here. You can find it here on their itch page. And this is $0.00. So you can just look at it and figure out what you like about it. So this is what we're going to be paging through today. Yeah, so this demo was published 2023. And let me check the actual game. This game came out, yeah, like literally only 2-3 months ago. So relatively new. So I'm excited to cover it. Let's get into the game. Is there something here? 41 pages. Great. Also, the art is incredible. It's exactly the 90s and aughts manga art style with the big old eyes and the fancy, crazy hair. And they have these weird dual discs. I'm going to be making a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh references to see what I recognize from the original games. Just to see what touchstones I'm familiar with. Let's get into it. What is Perfect Draw? Let me zoom in. Perfect Draw is a tabletop role-playing game built on the Powered by the Apocalypse framework. All right, we got a PBTA game. We're pretty familiar with those. Just for people who aren't familiar, PBTA is a game system specifically designed to evoke a certain genre or theme or motif, and they have systems in place to really pull that forward. They usually rely on a 2d6 system, rolling 2 dice and determining if your activity or unsure predicament is a success, partial success, or failure. And they also often have playbooks. Playbooks are specific tropes that you might lean into depending on the character you're building. Not typically, the playbooks aren't typically designed for mechanical benefit as much as they are evoking a specific lifestyle and or direction. I guess I feel like those are the two really big PBTA, Powered by the Apocalypse cornerstones, and what most games base it off of. So expect to see 2d6, expect to see playbooks, or some variation of that in this. So let's continue. Combining trading card game mechanics with collaborative storytelling, the game looks to create narratives based on card game toy anime such as Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Masters or CardFight Vanguard. I'm not familiar with this latter one. Maybe it's newer. We could look that up. CardFight Vanguard. Okay, I see the vision. Pretty sick. It reads very yeah, this seems like it's right in line with the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. Okay. In these stories, the game itself is an extension of the characters and their struggles. Their fights tell the story of conflicts between each other's personality and ideals. Their decks serve as a reflection of their core beliefs and self. Perfect Draw uses open-ended card creation, action-oriented moves, and mechanics which center the character struggles to help create these kinds of impactful conflicts. I guess it's a really important question, isn't it? How are they gonna utilize actual deck building in a game like this? Like, famously, these decks are very complicated. Every card has a very specific ability. Will they be making like unique cards that we can use in specific situations? I don't know how they're going to manage what is historically like hundreds or thousands of different cards in play. So curious to see what they do there. What is the Perfect Draw Quick Play Kit? The goal of this quick play is to create an easy way for people interested in Perfect Draw to try the game before purchasing the book. Inside this kit are 3 pre-made characters, an adventure designed for these characters, and all the roles you'll need to play. To run the adventure, you'll need 1 player to take the role of the judge, and 2 or 3 others to take the role of players. The judge will control the world, playing the role of NPCs and mediating the game, while the players will act as the protagonists, using one of the pre-made characters included later in this kit. Everyone should read the player's kit, then the judge should take the time to read the judge's kit as well. Okay. Basics of play. Perfect Draw has 2 primary roles, the players and the judge. At the start of the game, players will select playbooks that define their character by determining initial stats and granting unique abilities. For this quick play guide, players will instead choose one of the 3 included pre-made characters. All players have access to each of the general moves and card combat general moves while in a card game. Okay, let's dwell on that for a little bit. General moves are pretty common. The word moves is a PBTA term used pretty much in all PBTA games in being universal forms of action, ways to interact with the situation in a way that the conclusion is uncertain. So sometimes move is just persuade this person of something, or confront them directly, or something along the lines of move from this location to this location. So it's something where your success is, again, I was saying uncertain, and you would choose this move to kind of progress your situation and roll the dice and see if you succeed. Otherwise, if whatever you're doing has no real failure rate, you don't need to use moves. So general moves would be something everyone has access to, and I'm guessing card combat general moves are things you can only use while in battle, which is a card game. In addition to abilities gained from their playbooks. Look, we have playbooks right there. Players take the role of the story's heroes with the power to define them, how their character acts and affects the world around them. The judge, I'm guessing the judge is the game master role, will act as the world, as well as the non-player characters within that world. The judge is responsible for helping guide the story for the players, describing what they see as they encounter new situations, facilitating gameplay, and taking the role of any NPCs the players may interact with. When a player describes an action taken by their character that has the potential for interesting complications, oh look, we were just talking about this, the judge may ask them to use a move. Players may also suggest to the judge that they'd like to try and use a move. Judge is the final say to ask whether it's necessary. And here we go with the 2d6. Moves. Oh, did something happen to YouTube? Let me see. Okay, let me know if the stream gets choppy in the future. YouTube's telling me the streaming is a little bit disturbed. But this is the 2d6 we were talking about before. When a player is asked to roll, they roll 2d6. If a player is asked to roll plus something, they roll and add the value of the noted attribute. Attributes are like your skill, not the skills, your ability scores, or like your general stats. For instance, if you were asked to roll plus passion, you would roll 2 6-sided dice, then add the value of your passion stat in your playbook to the result. During play, players will often be asked to take baggage. Oh, what's this? Take baggage. In Perfect Draw, baggage represents the core struggles that your character is dealing with and has a number of effects. When you take baggage, you describe a problem the player character is experiencing and write it down. Usually, this problem will have something to do with the situation that you gained the baggage from, though it doesn't always have to be true. When you use a move and have any amount of relevant baggage, you'll apply -1 to the roll for each. If you have any amount of relevant serious baggage, you'll set the value of the roll modifier to -1 instead, ignoring any bonuses that the player might have. Finally, when you resolve baggage, such as confronting its source or it no longer being an issue, you'll gain experience. Okay, so baggage seems to be a demerit that you work to get rid of, or you work to adjust. When you finally, it reminds me of conditions from Masks, which is also a PBTA game, meant to be penalties that hold you down for now, but once you fix them, they're ultimately boons. Card game combat. All right, this is what we're interested in. How this is even possible. I'm so curious if they have like a whole collection of cards that we get to choose from, or if this is some sort of thing we improvise or come up with on the spot. When a card game is initiated, yeah, great. When a card game is initiated, both the players and the judge follow the rules specified in the card game combat section of the book. Also, this art is so good. As you start the game, if you have any baggage... welcome, Umberwatch. Nice to see you here. When a card... I'll try again. Both the players and the judge follow the rules specified in the card game combat section of this book. As you start the game, if you have any baggage that is relevant to the fight, you gain advantage. Oh, interesting. So this is kind of a demerit, but sometimes it's good. I don't know what advantage means in this game, though. This resource can be used for powerful effects in the middle of the card game. During combat itself, the player may do any of the actions allowed during their turn. This includes drawing a card from their deck, playing a card, playing a staple, I don't know what this is, and attacking with any warriors they control. Additionally, players may utilize card combat general moves. They're in card games. They still have access to general moves as well. Players dictate exactly what card combat general moves they use and how they affect the fight itself. On the enemy's turn, the judge uses moves described in the opponent's turn section of the judge's kit to represent their plays and how they attempt to win. Okay. No real answers yet on the card system, but we will get to it eventually. I think we have to look up what the card combat general moves are until we really understand. But let's get into the stats. Characters in Perfect Draw have 3 primary stats. These stats help quantify what aspects of life your character excels in and where they may have room for improvement. Passion represents your character's will and resolve to attain their goals. Energy and determination. Skill represents your character's intellect and talent regarding both the game and the world beyond that, their ability and proficiency. Friendship, perfect, essential, represents your character's empathy and their connections to the world and other people, their caring and social skills. I think it's really interesting how they have passion and friendship separate. This is kind of like a self-improving vibe, a self-improving energy, and this friendship is like, but what about everyone else? And I love how skill is entirely separate from your passion and your friendship. You could be really enthused and you could be really friendly, but if you don't have the skill, what can we really do here? Depending on how high or low each stat is on the player's character sheet, different moves will be more or less likely to go well for the player. All right, so these are the moves that we use outside of combat. General moves are a set of actions all players have access to that act as that act as the primary form of resolution within Perfect Draw. All right. Players aren't required to say that they're performing a specific move. They just say what they do in character, letting the judge decide whether a roll of a move is required. It's okay and even encouraged for players to recommend and suggest certain moves. In the case of moves such as become vulnerable, dissolve baggage, or overcome your weakness, these are the most likely ways for these moves to occur. However, it's ultimately up to the judge to decide whether a move or roll is actually required. Triple Person says no heart of the card skill. I mean, maybe. You never know, right? That might be a card combat skill. We're gonna put a pin in that and see if that comes up true. Let's see. If it wouldn't be interesting or relevant to your character to fail, there's no need to use any of the moves at all. It simply happens. Otherwise, roll to find out how things go. We do know this. Some moves may ask you to gain baggage. Baggage acts as hurdles or conflicts for your character to overcome. This can be anything from a wounded hand to a crush on someone to being embroiled in a conspiracy. When you gain baggage, define what that baggage is and add it to your character sheet in the baggage section. We're dealing with personal traumas. We're dealing with the chips on our shoulder is what I'm getting from here. Baggage carries both pros, such as acting as a source of gained experience and other resources, and cons, such as impairing relevant roles. If a player makes a general move outside of combat and is relevant, again, awesome art. If a player makes a general move outside of combat and it is relevant to any baggage, they take -1 to the roll for each relevant piece of baggage. Okay. If the move relates to serious baggage, the roll modifier is instead set to -1, ignoring any bonuses that the character might have. That's brutal. So even if you have like a +2 or a +3 in a roll, if it relates, I don't know what serious baggage is quite yet, but it seems like you ignore all bonuses and it becomes just -1. So that reduces your chances of success dramatically in a 2d6 session. All right, so these are examples of general moves, and we're just going to skim through these to see how we handle them. First general move is enter a dangerous situation, is doing something reckless, and you roll passion. On a 10+, so in PBTA games, of course, 1 to 6 is failure, 7 to 9 is success at a cost or partial success, and 10 to 12 is perfect success. Which means what you wanted to do is exactly what happens, which is pretty rare, honestly. The odds of a perfect success are pretty low. 7 to 9. 7 is the most common number to roll in a 2d6 system. So most often you're going to land somewhere in the ballpark of either a partial success or failure. So it's one of those interesting dice systems that almost encourages or leans into failing quite a bit, because failure leads to drama, leads to progress, so to speak. Okay, so 10 is ultimate success, of course, in this doing something reckless, and 7 to 9, you have to sacrifice something along the way, or delay the problem, or create a new intermediate problem. And if you fail, you gain baggage. Okay, so baggage is the penalty for 6 or less. Reveal a new possibility. When you help someone overcome an issue they couldn't complete themselves, describe how you help them and roll plus passion. So this, I'm surprised this isn't friendship. Interesting. I guess it's using passion because it's tapping into your own personal, like, talents, I guess. So use your talents to benefit somebody else. So it's not really friendship as much as it is combining your expertises. 10+, you reveal a new opportunity to them. 7 to 9, you do that, but the judge decides what opportunity opens up to them, And 6 or less, your plan fumbles and you gain baggage. Brandish your skills. This is the first skill ability. Using your expertise in difficult circumstances. So this seems like if you don't have a person involved, if it's just you and nobody else, and that's different from being reckless. You're using what you're good at in a difficult circumstance. That would be skill. And 10, of course, success. 7 to 9, things don't work out the way you intended. You delay the problem or create a new intermediate problem. So this is similar to do it into a dangerous situation. So doing something reckless is probably something you're not good at, whereas brandishing your skills is doing something you're good at. I think that's the most obvious difference between these two. Investigate your surroundings is also a skill roll, being able to look around you. And if you succeed, you can ask one of these 4 questions. What don't I understand about blank? What happened to blank? What could we do to stop this? And why is this happening? And on a perfect success, you ask 2 questions. And of course, as always, when you fail, gain baggage. Is someone launching fireworks outside? Give me a sec. Yes, someone is. Sorry, this is in the middle of a stream, but I'm looking outside as fireworks are happening at the bottom of my street. Wow, those are real fireworks. What the heck? Y'all are gonna get caught. Expect the popo. Whoa, that's a lot of fireworks. Whoa. I wish I could show you. Oh, these are kids. Oh my gosh. There's so much smoke. That's wild. It's September. Maybe they're celebrating something today? Does anyone know if there's a holiday today? What is it today? September 17th? I mean, it looks like a lot of fun. But that's... I guess I could watch if I was a neighbor and they wouldn't mind. But also... I'm pretty sure that's illegal in New York. But I'm sure it's fine. This is... Okay, I should stop looking at this. I'm live. Wow, cool. So cool. It's like... It's not the ones that shoot into the sky. It's like a street level thing. Which I'm guessing is more subtle. But if I hear sirens outside... I mean... Yeah, I'm being an old man looking through my window. There's like 8-year-olds running around and they're having a great time. Let's not be narcs. Okay, back to stream. Ugh. Oh, people know. Mid-Autumn Moon Festival? Mid-Autumn Festival? Mooncake Festival? I don't know anything about this. What is that? Mid-Autumn Festival? Mooncake Festival. Oh, look at this. 15th day. Oh, wait. So it's today. Oh, would you look at that? That's so great. Okay, go off. That's cool. Oh, fun. Okay. Yeah, have a great Mooncake Festival Day or Mid-Autumn Festival Day. That's awesome. Good for them. And it's like safely at the bottom of the street so nobody's cars gets in the crossfire. I love that. Good for them. Thank you, Kid Charmander and Wink Chain, for letting me know what's going on there. Where were we? All right. So if you guys hear fireworks in the background of the stream, just know it's a great holiday. Okay. Convey your ideals. Jumping back into it. Attempt to convince someone to act against your own ideals or desires. Against their own ideals or desires. Oh, interesting. So this is one where your ideas don't line up with the person you're trying to convince. As opposed to the ones above here that are like... Where is it? Here, this reveal a new possibility, like where your things are aligned. This is different. Nope, not this one. This is different. 10 plus, you've successfully made them listen to your words. Select only one complication. So even in a perfect success, there's a complication here. On a 7 to 9... You must first show them the value of... Look at this line. I love it. On a 7, this is like a perfect example of the card of Yu-Gi-Oh! In a nutshell. On a 7 to 9, you can still convince them. But it's like 2 complications below instead. You must first show them the value of your convictions in a card game. I love it. You need to help them with something before they can do what you ask. While they may be willing to do as you ask, they ask you to make a compromise for them, and they need time. On a 6 or less, they don't care or don't trust you. Gain baggage. I would love to play this and be one of those over dramatic side characters. This reminds me of the scene in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Kaiba threatens to jump off the top of a castle if he loses. The duel with Yami Yuki. And he's like, if you kill me in this moment, the explosion will knock me off the castle and I will die. Which is a grimy way to force a win in a duel. But this seems like one of those moments where this would come into play. And understand someone's true feelings is the other role plus friendship. So this is one of those questions where you learn how to bond with a character. This is when you convince the villain to be on your side. Oh, look at this. Take a moment to recuperate is one that doesn't require any of your stats. It doesn't require passion, skill, or friendship. When you take a prolonged rest away from any danger or strife, each player may choose one option from the following list. Oh, I guess this isn't a... This is not really a move. I guess it kind of is a move but there's no roll on it. So when you rest, you can define a new baggage. You can take on a new baggage. You can create a new card and add it to your deck. Ooh, card creating system. If you make a new ace, remove a card with ace from your deck, and then remove a card from your deck, or replace a staple in your staples list with another from the generic staples list. How interesting. In the subversion, he just outright says he'll jump. I mean, of the things that have happened in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Animated series, I think that moment sticks out to me because it's such like a loser way of handling the situation. He's like, there's nothing more important to me than... I mean, he was going to save his brother, right? Seto Kaiba's whole deal was like, I'm going to save my brother. And if I lose here, then I won't be able to save my brother and I might as well be dead, right? That's his energy. And if that's the case, why would you duel Yami Yugi? Like, why would you do that to yourself? Just duel a bunch of other dudes and get those 10 and progress ahead, you know? Like, was this part of collecting the star chips, or was it part of like the head-to-head part? I can't quite remember. It's been so long, but that's just such a bad mentality. You're literally a kid millionaire. There's so many ways for you to intervene in ways that don't require you dying. I think teaming up with the first or second best duelist in the tournament would be much more useful. But that's only hindsight, right? If I'm just a teenager, how old was Seto Kaiba? How old was Seto Kaiba during the anime? I think this is just how we have to do it. That doesn't answer my question. Kaiba is at least 18 years old. All right, so he's like 18-ish. Yeah, he's 18. So I guess when you're 18, you don't know what's best for you. Josh Walsh is clearly the expert that I need in this chat. I love still having to play a card game to show your ideals. He was ordered explicitly to take out Yugi. Oh, he was ordered explicitly to take Yugi out of the tournament, I think. Okay, I believe that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Because I know he was in a compromised situation and he had to like save it. The whole thing was like Mokuba again got caught, so he had to save his brother. And I guess when you're dealing with like what's essentially a serial killer, right? Like with Maximilian Pegasus, when he sends people to the shadow realm, quote unquote shadow realm, that's basically death. So, or purgatory. Is it purgatory or hell? That I'm getting this. This stream is getting blacklisted from all the words I'm using today. But yeah, shadow realm was like a metaphor for some sort of hell. And I guess if you can't save your brother from hell, then you might as well die and be with him. something along those lines. That's how an 18-year-old thinks. So be it. Anyway, this is what happens when you take a rest. Apparently you can change cards in your deck, so that's really curious. Additionally, each player should take a chance to check their baggage and see if they are no longer relevant. If they've been resolved, remove it and gain experience. This is not possible for serious baggage. Very cool. Yu-Gi-Oh was my whole personality until I turned 11, I'm afraid. Absolutely. I knew so much about Yu-Gi-Oh. I was so good at Yu-Gi-Oh before. I mean, I wasn't on it for so long, but I mean, it remained a cultural touchstone in my life. Yu-Gi-Oh and Yu-Gi-Oh GX was what I really held on to. Anything past that, I didn't know. But I followed the card game for at least like 5 years before it became like uber complex. And this is the only stream where I'm like allowed to talk about this stuff because we're talking about card games. But this card, Solar Flare Dragon, oh my gosh, this is my heart and soul. This card is so slow. It deals 500 damage a turn. Oh, that's some great art for it. It deals 500 damage a turn. So you would just have a whole lot of them on the field, and then you have something like Gravity Shift. Gravity Shift? Is that the one I'm looking at? Gravity Shift. Yu-Gi-Oh. Gravity Bind. This is the one. This is the clutch card. You put Gravity Bind on there, so nobody who's very strong can attack. So your Solar Flare Dragons survive, and then you give them this boy. You give them Lava Golem, and Lava Golem deals 1,000 damage a turn, and you put it on their side of the field, and Lava Golem can't attack because of Gravity Bind, and I was smoking my friends with this deck. And then they released a card that negated all. Oh my gosh, where was it? Yu-Gi-Oh. Ignore all. How do you say out of combat damage card? What is this card? There was basically a card that let you ignore all indirect damage. Ignore all. Oh my gosh. Indirect. Continuous. I don't know what it was, but God, yes, stall. Thank you, Stallburn. That's exactly right. But there was a card that let the opponent ignore all indirect damage, and I'm like, that kills my whole deck. That's the only reason I played Yu-Gi-Oh, to kill people with Stallburn. So I gave up. I remember effect damage. Ignore all. Joshua Walsh. You're gonna find me this card. Ignore all. Is it good reaction to symmetry? I don't know, man. I remember I quit when I saw it. Absolute law. That's a long card. That's not it. It had a very, very, very short description. It's okay. Whatever. Whenever that card came out, I quit Yu-Gi-Oh because what I loved about the game was no longer available, and I did not have the funds as a child to continue playing and buy a whole new deck, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. What is this card? Any card effect. Sorry, this is such a. Any card effect that would cause you to take damage from a card effect that would normally increase your LP, increases your LP by that much instead. Oh, I'm guessing this is like some anti-meta card where. Oh, is this a spoof off of Bad Reaction to Symmetry? Wait. Is this a real card? No way, this is a real card. Custom Yu-Gi-Oh. I thought it was crazy. Okay, this is a fake card. Because it looks a whole lot like Simochi. We are not looking at the game right now. Here, I was thinking, I knew this card existed. Bad Reaction to Symmetry. So I saw Good Reaction to Symmetry. I'm like, that's edited. Okay, anyway, let's get... Okay, at least I know that there's one person in chat who knows my pain. By the way, this is the Twitter of the person who made the game, Nora Jean Hayes. I think there's one other person who worked on this. Like it's a team. Let me see if I can find it. We're on page 8. Where's the... Here. Nora Jean Hayes and Iris Cassandra St. Clair. Awesome names. Wow, this is a powerful name. Iris Cassandra St. Clair. But these are the people who worked on it. And if you want to follow the Norgene Hayes, they're here. Continuity and. But I do know, I'm glad there's at least one person who understands my woes in Yu-Gi-Oh. Back when Jinzo was the bomb. I'm dating myself. Jinzo was like the coolest card on the planet. I'm just gonna look up this one because Jinzo was the man. This card changed the game. Trap cards do not work while he's on the field. Oh my gosh. This card, wild, changed everything. There was, what was it, Battle City? Battle City Jinzo? I'm gonna find it. Battle City Jinzo. Oh, and what's his face? Yeah, and Joey Wheeler steals it because he beats the guy who plays Jinzo, and then he just says Jinzo in his like Brooklyn accent the whole series. Oh my gosh, Battle City. Battle City was the best. I liked Battle City more than Maximilian's Island because in this they had the god cards. So they had the Winged Dragon of Ra. I'm sorry, that's not Winged Dragon of Ra. They had Slifer the Sky Dragon, and what's his face? Not Exodia. Obelisk the Tormentor. Oh my gosh. And when you beat somebody, you steal their best card. So good. Because you started... I love arcs where they're like mechanically improving their deck. So when they steal cool cards from the people they beat, that's some Mega Man, Metabots type energy. I love when it's just like, I'm going to use the power of the villain for good. You know, that's one of my favorite tropes in anime. And it's so good when like Joey has to beat the guy with Jinzo and just starts using it. Oh my gosh. Wintry, try doing the voices of the characters. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to... I do have a decent Brooklyn accent for Joey Wheeler because I grew up in New York. But I'm not about to pretend like I can do voices. That's not my talent. Slifer is naked for Roger Slifer, a producer on the translation. I don't know if you mean the word naked. I don't know if that's the word you're named. Okay. Slifer is named for Roger Slifer. Oh, that's cool. That's great. But yeah, Obelisk the Tormentor was so good. And then it was just like, oh, I'm sorry, the guy with 3 blue eyes suddenly has this dude also. Wild stuff. And he would like summon tokens that he would sacrifice. He'd do the sheep thing. Oh my gosh. Kaiba. Sheep card. What is that card? Yes, not Stray Lambs. There's another one that gives you 4. This one. Scapegoat. Oh, Scapegoat. This card. Incredible. 4 sheep tokens. Yeah, Scapegoat. Oh, that's a throwback. Okay, I'm done. I was like, Stray Lambs was suboptimal. Scapegoat. Quick action. Whatever that symbol means. Quick action. 4 tokens. Incredible card for its era. Okay. We're gonna read this game, I promise. Hornetdeco, welcome to the stream. I don't know if I've seen you here before, but yeah, perfect draw. I'm learning about this game today. Thank you for tuning in. Josh, we're just reminiscing about the Yu-Gi-Oh series while we're reading it, so we're kind of getting sidetracked. Kaiba sacrificing Obelisk to summon Blue Eyes for no reason and winning. Yes. I don't need Obelisk. I'm gonna win with Blue Eyes. There were so many moves that were just like so campy that they were good. What is that one? And I don't expect Perfect Draw to be able to do this, but launching Gaia the Dragon Warrior at your floating sky castle to destroy the flotation device that falls on your 3 monsters, eliminating the rest of your hit points, was peak Yu-Gi-Oh. That was the moment. That was the moment. I used Catapult Turtle and then Dragon Champion, right? I just need the full quote. Where is it? Catapult Turtle. There's a Lego of Gaia the Dragon Champion on Catapult Turtle. Here, we're gonna watch this stream. If we get demonetized, I don't regret it. We're gonna watch this nonsense, okay? Can you hear this? I don't know if you can hear this. I'm gonna move my mic to the screen, so maybe you can hear it through my mic. I don't know if you guys can actually hear this video. William James just joined. I've been running a perfect draw game for my friends for a few months. I'm excited to see you reading this. Hey, awesome. Welcome to the stream. Umbra Watch says, I'm currently trying to convince my friends to play perfect draw. There's so many. Why are there so many people here? Where'd you guys come from? Incredible. Yeah, Hornet Echo, welcome. Resol, welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here before, but welcome. And William James, of course, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna play this video because this is the best moment in Yu-Gi-Oh. It's almost as good. Well, it's better than Draw Monster card, which was the Orichalcum arc where he's beating up Weevil on a train. That's like second best moment for me, but this is for best moment. And I don't know if audio will come through, so I'm just gonna move my mic to my speaker so you guys can hear it. Okay, let's do it.
Time for talk is over. That was your last turn. The end is now. Catapult Turtle! Slow and steady wins the duel, Panic, for I can use the turtle's catapult to launch Gaia the Dragon Champion and shatter your defenses. Catapult launch raises Gaia, the Dragon Champion's attack power all the way up to 3,200.
That makes no sense.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
My monster's defense power is still much too strong for you. Protected as they are by the Chaos Shield, you still can't touch them. You can only watch helplessly as they prepare to assault you next turn.
Who said anything about attacking your monsters? What I'm attacking is the castle.
That makes no sense.
My castle is still unassailable. Its walls are still invincible to any of your attacks, so I won't take any damage at all.
We'll see about that. Turtle, catapult launch my Dragon Champion!
Do it! And that's it. I mean, there's more to the scene. Gaia the Dragon Champion being launched by Catapult Turtle destroys the floating castle's flotation device, having it crash down on the monsters below, and for some reason that works to eliminate the rest of this trainer's life points. There's no rule where that makes sense. There's no precedent. But that scene, along with like draw a monster card and destroy the moon, I attack the moon, classics, peak anime. But let's get back into this. Did the music stop? No, the music's still going. That's so funny. The dragon is an eagle. It's been years I didn't know it was that word. I don't understand what's going on. Okay, Thumper, sorry, let's catch up. We are on page 8. We're reading through Perfect Draw. Perfect Draw. This is actually the quick play demo. This is a free version of the game that we're covering right now. The full game is called Perfect Draw, a card game anime role-playing game, which is based on series like apparently CardFight Vanguard, as well as Yu-Gi-Oh, where there's a lot of emboldened, impassioned teenagers playing cards to prove their worth and value as duelists, and of course defend their friends along the way. This game is $15 on itch.io, but the Perfect Draw demo kit is free, so we're looking at that, and if you want to read along, you're more than welcome to. If you want to download the game and just quit out of the stream and check it out yourself, absolutely do that. As someone who grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh, this is such a trip down memory lane for me. But we just went through abilities, we just went through general moves, we went through a little bit of baggage and reckoning with that, understanding how the weight of a character's decisions and life experiences sometimes causes demerits on your character, but eventually is converted into experience. Yes. Resol says, fun fact, Duelist Kingdom arc was storyboarded and animated before the official TCG rules were even established. Oh, okay. That's why they were just winging it in the logic similar to the original manga. Yeah, the original manga, I recall, like the first couple of chapters of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ayami Yugi was just straight up killing people. There was like little games with dice, and of course there was the famous lighter one in the cafe where he saves Taya. And before cards were even part of the game. And then once Yu-Gi-Oh cards came into play, and that's cool that they made the series before they were even rules. I dig that. So this is overcome your weakness. I'm guessing this is how you resolve the demerits on your sheet, which are denoted by baggage. As long as you, and then once you get rid of baggage, you get a benefit instead. Okay, so this is what encourages you to take on baggage or serious baggage, and turn it into a benefit. So you can get a +1 on the next roll you make. You can get +1 on all your rolls until the threat is resolved. And then there's other things like that. So cool. If you find like ways narratively to resolve your baggage, then you can turn that into a benefit, and that motivates your character to have these difficult situations and to overcome them. So it's one of those ways that the story is pushed forward. Very cool. All right, this is what we've been waiting for. How card games work. How the heck are we playing this game? In real life, there are a huge number of different trading card games that all have unique mechanics of their own. When playing Perfect Draw, however, we assume that there is only one trading card game, or at least only one that's important to the world. Very true. The way that card games work, as described in this section, is considered an abstraction. Okay, sure. In fiction, players might draw many more cards, summon many more warriors, or use card types that don't exist in this book. However, when we initiate card game combat in Perfect Draw, we use the rules of this chapter to represent that game. Feel free to talk about the fictional card game in whatever way you want. Players win a card game by reducing their opponent's life to 0. The opponent wins if the player's life is brought to 0 instead. A character's starting life is contingent on the significance of the battle, as detailed in the starting the card game segment later in this section. Some card effects may also grant players or NPCs additional ways to win the game. These should be specified on the card itself. Cool. Okay. If the opponent no longer has any reasonable way to win using their gimmick, the judge may allow the player battling them to describe how they win from this point forward. Cool. And of course there's a way to draw, apparently, if they both went to 0 life. Okay, let's look at the mechanics. I'm very, very curious. Also, another awesome piece of art. Whoever's doing the illustrations on these are killing the game. So good. Spaces in a card game. Okay, let's buckle up. Let's learn some rules. During battle, players will use cards in a number of ways to help overcome their opponents. These are generally represented by physical cards that players will interact with and use during the course of combat. In a card game, there are 4 primary spaces the card can reside in. Yes. Yes, we know this. The deck. A player's deck is made up of the cards created during character creation and or through moves that create a card. Each of the pre-made characters in this quick play has a complete ready-to-use deck pre-made for them. Great. Cards in the deck cannot be interacted with until they are drawn, unless another effect explicitly states otherwise. If you draw a card from the deck when your deck is empty, you may shuffle your graveyard into your deck before you draw. When you do this, you lose 1 life. The hand. We know all these things. The hand makes up the primary majority of cards a player can play each turn. Within the fiction of the game, your player character holds more cards than you, the players, physically do. Right. This includes cards such as their staples, and the cards used within the fiction to counter your opponent's play. Cards are added to the hand by drawing them from the deck. The field. When a card is played, it is put onto the field. While on the field, its effects become active, and it may take actions based on its card type. When an invocation is played to the field, it is immediately put into the graveyard. I don't know what an invocation is. I'm guessing it's a spell card or a trap card or the equivalent of those. The graveyard. When a card is destroyed or discarded, it goes to the graveyard. Cards in the graveyard cannot be interacted with unless an effect states otherwise. Effects can create more spaces for cards to exist. The rules for that space should be specified by the appropriate cards. Okay, this is gearing up for something wild. I'm so curious how they handle this. So we understand these concepts. The deck is the cards you will draw from. The hand is the cards that are immediately available to you. The field are the cards that are active, and the graveyard are cards that have been destroyed. Familiar concepts. When a player or group When a player or group of players first initiate a card game with an NPC opponent, the players first shuffle their respective decks, then decide together with the judge whether the battle is filler, significant, or finale. Oh, cool. The significance of the battle determines how much life competitors will have, how many cards they draw at the beginning, how many times NPCs can use their response moves, and what threat moves they can use. Cool. If a battle is filler, 2 life, 1 random card from their deck. Significant, 3 life and 2 random cards. And the finale is 4 life and 3 random cards. NPCs can use response moves 3 times, can use Lash Out against losing twice, and reveal your backup plan once. I don't know what these are. Lash Out against losing and reveal your backup plan. Then decide who takes the first turn. Sure. Before the battle begins, if a player has spent time preparing for this fight, they can choose to create a card following the card creation rules. Card creation rules. Alright, excited about that. And shuffle it into their deck. Finally resolve how much advantage for each instance of relevant baggage they have to the card game, relevant to the card game they have. Oh, so you gain advantage for having baggage that ties into the current combat. Okay, great. I don't know what lashing out and backup plans are yet, but we're about to find out, I'm sure. Okay, and this is ending. Each player should check their baggage list. If any baggage has been resolved, resolve it and mark experience. Great. And any players involved in the fight, mark experience on their character sheet. Okay. Let's look at this card system. The most common type of card in Perfect Draw are warrior cards. These cards act as continuous forces on the board, able to attack your enemies and defend you against incoming threats. A warrior card will usually be represented by a living entity such as a person, animal, or alien being. Anything with the ability to reasonably attack, defend, or otherwise exert force on the world. Great. They have a strength. A warrior without any exceptional combat ability is weak. Opponents lose no life when taking damage from weak warriors. Okay, so this is like Scapegoat, right? This is like Karibo type energy. Normal. Opponents lose 1 life when taking damage from normal warriors. Strong. Opponents lose 2 life when taking damage from strong warriors. During the owner of a warrior's turn, that warrior may choose to attack. Right. Once per turn. If the opponent has no warriors in play, then that opponent can be attacked directly, making them lose life. That makes sense. Note that if an opponent only controls items, warriors may still choose to attack that opponent directly. Otherwise, they may only target a warrior or item for their attacks. So you can attack items. But only warriors stop direct attacks from warriors. I see. Warriors don't have to attack all at once. Cards can be played and effects can be activated between their attacks. Right. Main phase 1, main phase 2's type energy. When a warrior battles another card with strength, this is called a clash. A strong warrior always beats a normal warrior or item if it's attacks or is attacked by that warrior unless stated otherwise. The same is true for a normal warrior winning a clash against a weak warrior. When a warrior wins a clash, the card it clashed with is removed from the field and put into the graveyard. When a warrior attacks another card of equal strength, the player rolls to decide the outcome to discover which card wins the clash. Oh, so there's a dice roll if the cards are equal. Spicy. Interesting. Because that's really the only coin flip when it comes to warriors. William James says, if memory serves, I don't think the quick play guide includes the full rules on card creation. They're in the full rules. That makes sense to me. This game, the quick play probably only has demo characters and example cards. Items cannot attack and can't defeat warriors. And you can use warriors to attack items. They represent non-living things that have power over the battlefield, usually a literal weapon or item. As with warriors, items can be attacked, clashed with, and defeated. If an item's opponent wins a clash, the item is put in the graveyard. Great. Okay, so items are things that are on the field, and your warriors can attack them, but they obey the rules above over here, I believe. And there's a possibility that items might win the clash against warriors. And if they do, the warrior is not destroyed, but neither is the item. Joshua Walsh says, help, I'm already working on my character concept. I can see, I have friends who would be into this. I could see invocations are cards that don't create permanent fixtures, so they're like instant cards. They don't have a strength rating, and they go immediately to the graveyard. When you cast an invocation, you may forego your ability to play a staple this turn. I don't know what staples are yet. Oh, we learn right here. To play an invocation in addition to another card. To play the this allows you to play one card of any kind alongside that invocation, rather than one card and one staple. So you can always play one card and one staple. You may only do this as many times as you use your play your staple or invocation action this turn, usually only once. Okay. Okay, I'm here to understand what staples are, because we've been talking about staples quite a bit. Staples are a unique type of card that aren't contained within your deck and cannot be created. What does that mean? Instead, your character gains their staples based on their playbook and a selection from a list of generic staples. Okay. The pre-made characters in this quick play already have a set of staples selected from the generic staple list. Okay, so we're going to look at the playbooks in a second. Staples are generally much weaker than the cards you will make for your deck, but make up a series of generic effects that can help pull your deck together. Warriors created by staples are tokens by default. Warriors created by staples are tokens by default, meaning they are played directly onto the battlefield. Warriors mean they play directly on the battlefield. Warriors created by staples are tokens. Okay, I understand the terminology of tokens. They have no effects unless otherwise stated. They're not added to your deck and don't go to the graveyard once destroyed. Right. Tokens like exist only for the moment, and they don't have any like physical card attached to them. I understand that. During the player's turn, they can play one staple in addition to their one card per turn. Players cannot play the same staple they played the last time they played a staple. Oh, interesting. So there's like you can't repeat staples basically. Okay, so let's look at the playlist. So let's look at Resolved real quick. Resolved seems to be the main character. Elena Guerrero. Cool. I'm looking for her cards. Okay, so here, staples. And I don't understand these terminologies yet. So staples here are... These are generic... Okay, I understand. So these are like generic cards with an ability that you could possibly use. I'm curious if you invent these, where these come from, but we'll find out. So an example staple is Operation Star. Gain +1 to your combat tension until the end of your next turn. I don't know what that means. Reinforcement creates 2 weak warriors. That's cool. And BBB missile is an overwork. Destroy target warrior or item. I don't know what overwork means, but I'm sure that's a term that I can learn. And then cards in my deck. So these have all been like renamed, but these are abilities that you can take, I'm guessing, and attach them to creatures. So cards in my deck: warrior, normal, ace, teamwork, piercer 1, follow-up. Okay, so there's like a whole system behind this. These are a whole lot of keywords in one card. This is an item. When this card is played at the start of each of your turns, create a weak warrior. All your warriors have teamwork, and teamwork is, I'm assuming, something that gets you stronger if you have more units on the board. I'm just inferring this. I'm not sure if it's true. BBB support copter, warrior normal. All the other warriors you control are strengthened. Very cool. And then BBB build instructions are invocation. Draw 3 cards. That's broken. Broken card right there. Draw 3 cards. That's insane. Okay. You can only use this card if it's the last card in your hand. Okay. I was going to say, this is an incredible pot of greed. William James giving us a little bit of insight. In the full rules, there's a list of 12 pre-made staples. The characters can choose a character creation. I don't think that list is in the quick play guide. That's perfectly fine. I think that's par for the course. If we want to buy the game, we can learn more about it. That'd be really sick. Honestly, this game, I don't feel this often, and this is a testament to the game. I can imagine myself running this. Like, I can see it. Like, I can see the group of friends that I'll pick to play this game who really like these kind of tropes. And it's like, it's a PBTA game, so it's not too hard to learn. and there's like a custom card building system. Do you know how many of my friends play Slay the Spire? You know, or Balatro or any of these roguelite type games? Like, they would love this stuff. And obviously my friends who like Yu-Gi-Oh! As baseline would really be interested in this. I think this would be really cool to try out. I love this energy. This is cool. And then custom cards. You can use these cards when you're asked to create a card. Create 4 weak warriors with teamwork. That seems busted. That's really good. I guess if they're weak, they're just tokens, right? They don't deal damage. Target opponent fumbles. You can play an additional staple or cast an additional invocation the turn you play this. Oh, this is fun. This is funny. I like this. Teamwork lets cards with it team up on an attack for more power. Oh, that's sick. I like that. I do like that. I think. Okay. I am impressed by this game. I think this is a hard undertaking. I think this is difficult, right? To really like tackle and conceptualize and to turn into a game and just say like, hey, I want to create a game with a very I want to say complex, but a very nuanced ability to build custom decks that are practical, that can find play, that maybe don't have obvious broken combos, but with the right learnings, with the right studying, you can probably put together a good team. Like I enjoy very much games that reward people who study up, you know, like that's one of the things I really enjoyed about D&D 5e, that if you understand the game at its foundational level and you really research the opportunities and options that you have, you can create a really satisfying character, which is a reward for your work. I love that stuff. I love that stuff in any game, not just tabletop RPGs, but in tabletop RPGs, it's so satisfying to be like, this is a cool build I made that's like mine, and I think it's sick, and it's exactly what I want it to be. This game has the same energy. It looks like a game where like you could really study up on your options and create this custom combination of cards that work really well together, and it rewards your ability to be creative and piece that all together. And sometimes it won't work because RNG will have you drawing the wrong cards, and sometimes it won't pan out. And that's part of the game, you know, that's part of the fun. That's why card games are so interesting. There's that RNG concept that is so already prevalent in tabletop RPGs that is also found in card games. And it seems like a really solid match. All you need is like somebody like the person who made this game with the nuance and understanding of those card systems. So it's cool. And then they're like, you know what? We need a way to socialize too. We need an auto combat system. Let's just throw in PBTA and get that going. You know, that's great. What a great little what a gem to find. You know, and it's cool. And it's like other cards have also have things. Like, look at this. There's like more cards here. I'm guessing these aren't exactly the same either. Like these all have their own little things. Like here we have Graceful Charity right here. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. You know, like like I see the references. And there's also like ace cards, and ace cards are like your special super strong ones, like this one with the super long description. Oh, I like this. Look at this. This is a cool example of an ace card. Ace cards, I'm assuming, are very strong. So what we understand from the game is that ace cards are like your signatures. And it says here, Masamare may always roll to decide the outcome of a clash, even against cards it couldn't otherwise. Whenever a warrior you control wins a clash, draw a card. That's a supremely powerful ability. That's really, really useful. And it invokes the feeling of like the underdog, right? It's like even if my card isn't strong enough to contest you, even if it's just like a normal versus a strong, I have the right to contest you because of my narrative plot armor. You know, like that's awesome. This is just a really great example of like narrative play in mechanics. Love it. Wow. I kind of picked this game to cover it because it just had really cool motifs, but I mean, if the game system behind it is like sound and very like reliable, like look at this stuff. If the game behind is like a real card game, if there's a real card game behind this tabletop RPG, like dang, like I see the potential. My friends would love this. So nice. Yeah, look at this. Look at this Hearthstone looking description. While Prometheus is on the field, the card is inconspicuous. Like bolded condition word that we don't know the meaning of, except this put right here for the quick play. How great. Fantastic accessibility right there to just describe what this keyword means on the card because there's plenty of room for it. So smart. Love it. Yeah. Whoever made this game plays card games. Absolutely. I'm seeing notes of Magic the Gathering. I'm seeing notes of Hearthstone. I'm seeing obviously Yu-Gi-Oh, but the descriptions are much shorter. I love it. I think I really like this game. And you know what I always say, right? When we've covered 50 something games on these streams, right? We've covered 50 something games. And I don't expect you guys to play 50 something games. I don't expect me to play 50 something games. At the end of this series, after I cover 99 games, I fully expect to only stick to like 3 or 4 because those are the ones that resonated with me the most, right? Those are the ones that I truly found that I would have so much fun, and I saw the vision, the potential of the game, and the fun that I could have from playing it. Well, this is one of those games. This is a game that really sticks out to me as like, oh, this is exactly my wheelhouse, right? This is exactly what I like. Yeah, how fun. So like when all is said and done, like the dream for people who like tune into these streams is that you look at 99 games, you pick out all the cool things and mechanics and ideas and designs that you like, and you add them to the games that you really want to play. You add them to those really perfect gem games made especially for you, and you customize it to exactly what feels right, you know? Your games can only improve by learning more about other games, right? That's the reason we started reading games outside of like D&D, because as much as I enjoy D&D, I know that there's hundreds of other ways to play tabletop RPGs. And from reading those games, I've improved my system of how I run my games because my mind has been expanded to all the opportunities. So, awesome vibes from this game. Awesome vibes. I love it. I really do. I feel like we've got the core of this game down. I'm gonna say that this might be where we call the stream, because I could learn how to play this game, but I feel like I've already been sold on it, so I don't need to. I'm probably gonna buy the full version after this, because it just looks neat. Oh, they've thought of multiplayer games too. That's insane. That's insane, actually. I don't know if people understand how big that is in card games, multiplayer games. To turn a single player combat game into a team game, insane stuff. Brave. Free for all. That's insane. Games are not balanced for free for all, but I love it. Because free for all, right? Let's look at this. For anyone who's played card games, could you imagine your card game being a free for all? Could you really? 4 people on the board, all of them like teaming up with each other or against each other? Insane stuff. Actually imbalanced. Impossible to balance, right? Impossible to balance that nonsense. But in a tabletop RPG, it doesn't matter because the narrative points are the most important points, right? The story at the end of the day is what you care about. It's not really the balance. It's not really if this game like works well. If it sings, it doesn't matter if free for all sings. If it's dramatic and entertaining, that's really what matters. Love it. Before you're done, read the move, draw the perfect card. Who said, oh my gosh, who said Heart of the Cards might not be in this game because you might be disproven? Where are you? Who said that? Was it Triple Person? Was it Wing Chun? I can't remember. Here. Someone earlier in chat said, I wish I was a draw the perfect card ability. Here, Triple Person said no Heart of the Card skill at the top of the stream. So I'm gonna Google draw the perfect card. What is this? What am I looking at here? What am I looking at here, Joshua? Oh, William James. I'm sorry. Oh, it's the move the game is built around. Thank you so much for pointing me in this direction. I would have totally missed this if I didn't get a chance to get to it. When you would draw the card, when you would draw a card, you can choose to spend 1 advantage. Again, you get advantage from baggage that you have. You can choose to spend 1 advantage instead. If you do, create a card and add it to your hand instead of drawing. That's insane. Mid-game? Insane stuff. This card is added to your deck after the battle. Okay. This card is added to your deck after the battle and remains part of it unless removed by other means, such as by take a moment to recuperate move. So long as you have a card with ace in your deck or graveyard, you can spend 2 advantage to create a new ace instead. When you do this, you remove a card with ace from your deck or graveyard and create a new ace, adding it to your hand. Then create a new non-ace card and shuffle it into your deck. That's so funny. That's such a Yu-Gi-Oh coded thing. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Draw the perfect card? I need to see how this plays. Is there an actual play online somewhere? I want to see how this plays. I'm so enthralled. I love this. What is the word? Ensorcelled? I want to use ensorcelled in the sentence. Ensorcelled is one of my favorite words I never get to use. Ensorcell. Enchant or fascinate. Well, this is such a cool word. If you can ever chuck it into a conversation, you're going to sound like such a nerd. But ensorcel is such a strong fantasy word. Yeah, if there's an actual play, I'm gonna watch one tomorrow morning. I'm gonna wake up, eat breakfast, and watch an actual play. I'm so curious about this game. Love it. Josh Wall says end the campaign with an inter-party free-for-all. Oh, come on. You know that you know. I'm sure you know. I don't know, Josh Walsh, how many streams you've been in before, but you know that party PvP to end the campaign sometimes goes well, sometimes goes really bad. But this is a fun ability. I like this. This is exactly what Yugi would do in the game, in the anime. He just come up with the perfect card for the situation, and learn and use it in the battle, and then sometimes it come back up in future games, but usually it wouldn't. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream here. Again, this game is called Perfect Draw by Norjean Hayes and Iris Cassandra Sinclair. Sinclair. Again, these names are incredible. Your 3-part names, very, very nice. This seems like a game made just for me. I haven't bought the full version, but I absolutely will. And I don't want to show my credit card information on stream, but once the stream is over, I'm buying this game. If you want to check it out, if you like anime card games and you want to see someone try to combine a tabletop RPG with a custom card creation battle system, this seems like the most recent developed endeavor to accomplish that. If you want to see this game and just try it out for free, there's also a free demo that's available on the same itch.io page that we've been reading to this stream. You can check that out for yourselves. And with that said, good night, guys. I'm gonna go. Where's my goodbye? Here it is. Yeah, there it is. Fantastic. For people I haven't seen on this stream before, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for really putting your enthusiasm into this stream and having me learn the most important details about it. And of course, nerding out about old Yu-Gi-Oh! It is so nice to see you guys here if this is the first time being here, and I hope you guys tune in next week. And I'll see you guys later. Good night. Stay frosty.